All right, what is adult peekaboo? What are you talking about here? What is this?
So,
What do you got going on?
do you guys know how babies don't have smart brains yet when they're born?
I
Yeah.
still don't have a smart brain, but sure, let's keep it rolling.
So, in terms of that, the baby's brain develops over time to understand that when something is no longer in its sight, it learns that it's still there, you just can't see it. But that's why peekaboo works for a while. Because they're like,
Okay.
oh shit, they're gone. They are absolutely disappeared because I do not see their face.
Okay.
There has to be some person in history, or like, imagine if adults never learned that. Like, you're just like walking down a hall and talking to somebody. It's like, yeah, it's John. Like, how's it been going? And then, like, you turn a corner first and I just don't see you anymore. I'm like, oh, where did you go?
Are you saying that somebody would never have developed the brain function to understand that just because that person isn't in their line of sight anymore, they don't know where they are?
Yes, they think that they're gone. They don't
Well,
understand that somebody around the corner is now just around the corner. They just think they disappeared.
I don't think
Imagine,
that's ever happened ever.
but
have you
imagine
ever
if you
gone to
never
like a
did.
parade or an amusement park and you were with a group of people and then some person just like sees like a snack stand or something and then like wanders off and then you could be walking for minutes and you don't even realize that they've been gone? Or have
Well,
you
I
ever
think
Yeah,
watched your
that's pretty close.
nieces at the mall and then like lost them while you were supposed to be watching them and then like you got to call the cops and then the cops come and then you never find never mind.
You're a great babysitter, Steve.
That's never happened to me, but I'm just saying like allegedly if it did.
Sure.
allegedly. Is this what Steve? This reminds me of Justin. Like one time we were in class senior year. We had like the same study hall, and he goes, "Yeah, do you think life's just like a video? That you had the video game theory idea that
Who, me?
everything's a no." Justin did. He won't remember this.
Yeah,
He
this
doesn't
was all the way
remember
back in
anything.
2012 too.
He's like, yeah, but like nothing processes because like you're looking at something and this is processing, and you know how in a video game behind you is just a blank screen, and as you turn you see things and it's processing. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm behind you and I'm still here. He's like, but are you? And I'm like, yes.
I think I might have explained that. I think because that was a thought I had all the way back from like fourth grade that I still somewhat think about. Maybe I explained it to Justin and I got him to like agree with it. At
Oh,
some
yeah.
point, maybe.
It's just been festering in my brain for like 10 years, and I'm like, hey, John,
It
how
was
about a
like
story that I'm not going to remember?
it was like frustrating because like I there was nothing I could say because I'm too stupid to like answer back. But everything I would just be like, but like this is here. Like you could turn on the TV and watch that. And he's like, but is it? I'm like, yes.
But
And he
if you don't see it directly, you don't know if it exists or not.
I mean, I don't see Santa Claus directly, and I know he exists. So
Never
argument
seen
invalid.
$1 million. I know that exists.
Exactly.
Does
See?
it though? Money's kind of fake.
You're kind of fake.
Well, yeah. Apparently, we were in study hall.
We
Yeah,
were
I
in
don't
study
remember
hall. I think we had multiple study halls together, Justin.
I don't remember ever being in a class with John, to be honest.
Justin, my favorite memory of you in class is I walked in because I was a good student, and I walked past the fight, walked in, saw you, and you're like, "What took
Why
you
would
so
you
long?"
walk past the fight? I would just watch the fight. That's your first
I was a
problem.
good student. I was a nerd.
Dork.
And yeah, thanks, Steve. And I said that to Justin, and he goes, "Where?" And I said, "Down the hall to the left." And he just takes off.
Yeah. No, like fights, at least to the high school that we went to, were kind of rare. Like it wasn't even something that was guaranteed every month. So when there was one, like you had to see it.
I
Yeah,
guess
right?
that's fair.
Like, I saw a guy
that's
get
like a pay-per-view.
tased
It's
freshman
like-
year.
Oh, that I think that was sophomore year actually, but it could have been freshman.
Was-
Someone got
I
tased
remember
one of the years.
that was a
It was a
big
person.
moment.
Yeah.
Justin,
Yeah.
I think we were in class together for that one too. I think we were in math class that one time.
How many classes
Freshman
did we take together, John?
year. We took a lot. We're really dumb. Remember?
I'm pretty sure.
I was
like,
only with ever. Yeah, I was only.
I
took two
remember
classes with
things,
Justin.
but I'm pretty sure like I blacked out every single time I was somewhere with John, pre like a week ago.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's someone.
I was
I
just
don't
having too
remember
much
first
fun.
grade at all.
So I have an unverified story for you guys today.
Go on.
All right. This is based on pure speculation. I don't even know. I couldn't even find a news source that was reporting this. So it might all be a lie. But it's a fun story nonetheless. And it's about my favorite artist, Drake. So you guys can have fun with it. So there is an Instagram model who is apparently trying to sue Drake.
Is she from
And-
Texas?
Sure. Because
Okay.
all his exes are in Texas. Like he's George Strait.
Ex-ass.
Okay. So allegedly Drake and the Instagram model allegedly met up on Instagram, and the two allegedly met,
They met on. They
Met
found
on
a way to meet
Instagram.
on
They met in the
Instagram.
metaverse.
and the two
Mark
decided to
Zuckerberg
link
did it.
up a few weeks ago. The model and Drake had a romantic encounter, and what happened next was, well, crazy based on what this person is saying.
He peed on her.
After the party, they went back to his hotel. They smoked weed for a bit, and he asked if she wanted to have sex. She said he was very intent on ensuring things were consensual. That's good to hear. I kind of like that he was like, "Are you sure you're okay with this?" Or like, so that's pretty cool. They started with a bit of foreplay. He rubbed and sucked her titties for a bit. He
John,
then-
he's from Toronto. It's called Six Play.
Okay, sorry, it's six play. This is gonna get very descriptive, by the way.
Please.
then
Can you
went-
talk softly and more with gruffer?
He then went to the bathroom and came out with a condom on. She
Dork.
said he's She said he's about 7 inches thick and cut. They fucked for about 20 minutes. That's okay.
Actually, John, he's from Toronto. He's 6 inches thick.
Oh, okay. So
I've
we
never
gotta
heard that term thick because I just thought of it as like 7 inches wide. That's like
The man's
width
got a
of
tuna
my-
can.
That's like
That's
the
not-
width of my phone, even possibly more.
Like
Yeah,
imagine
no,
a
no,
Wii.
no,
like
he's not-
imagine a Wii
no, no.
controller.
Hold on. He's not 7 inches thick. He's 7 inches and then he's thick. So like, sorry, comma thick.
Oh,
7
okay.
inches long and thick.
How many
a good-
C's?
That's a good. I got one C here.
Okay.
C and a K.
Yeah, CK.
But
But
maybe
there's-
it's not
Can
that
you be
thick.
thick and cut at the same time? Is that a thing?
Well, it says thick and cut right here, so I guess.
No, cut as in like there's no. Well, I would say foreskin, but Drake's from
circumcised.
Toronto, so it'd be 6 skin.
I thought he
so
was
that-
also Jewish, so he might be un.
No,
No,
Don't
wait,
you
yeah,
get
he is.
there?
He is partially Jewish. Just Steve's right, but I guess he's cut. Like I guess he's got no foreskin. Okay,
That's
so
what cut mean. I thought cut was like a term that you use for people that were like ripped.
yeah.
to
the
be
dudes-
honest with
Well, ripped also could be another word for cut if you're like Amish and you have
To
no
be honest with
scissors.
you,
Oh.
I didn't even think about the foreskin when
Six
she
skin.
said his dick was cut. I was like, oh wow, his dick has a 6-pack.
he's got a shredded dick,
It's a real veiny dick.
vascular dick.
They fucked for about 20 minutes, which I don't think is too bad because if you probably don't care about, like, I feel like he fucks all the time. 20
Does
minutes.
that
probably
include the
not-
foreplay?
I don't know. No, I think they had foreplay and then he went and got a condom. So
Mm,
probably doesn't include foreplay. So just 20 minutes straight sex, not bad.
good job.
Yeah. He mostly hit it from the back and eventually came inside the condom. Immediately after, he went to the bathroom to dispose of it. So later, she fished the condom out of the trash, untied it, and put the opening end into her vagina.
Oh,
So she was trying to, take the semen and put them in her. You know what I mean? Boy, was she in first.
John, I'm not following. Can you please further describe
yeah,
how
does
she's
one
trying
do
to
that?
inseminate
Just
herself?
interesting. Just
So she
interested.
just went in there and she just went up there like that and she stuck it in and she tried to fit that condom and all the juices flowing in there. She was trying to have another little boy from the 6 inside her.
Mm.
Boy,
That's
was she in
morbid,
for a
John. That's
surprise.
fucked up, man.
Sorry. Boy, was
She
she in
wanted
for a
boy from the
surprise.
6 inside of her. Never mind.
She felt like pouring hot lava into her pussy. She screamed and Drake ran into the bathroom. He admitted that he poured a packet of hot sauce into the condom to kill the sperm, and now the Instagram model.
Yes.
Wait,
is
what
threatening to
brand of
sue.
hot sauce?
It doesn't say.
Taco Bell. Diablo.
He just carries a thing of Taco Bell hot sauce
That's,
to kill the sperm.
that's probably not his first time doing that. He's
Yeah, that's-
probably had to do that ever since he knocked up his last baby mama. He's like, okay, well, I'm clearly not doing this again.
Wait, but how
Wow.
concerned would you be if you were the woman, you saw the condom, and you just see red inside of it? Like,
I mean, if
it's like,
if
oh,
you're
Drake's
just
coming blood.
But like she stepped, it's like she's playing Dead by Daylight and she stepped in a bear trap. Like you did something you shouldn't be doing, and now you're burning.
yeah, I saw somewhere that it's not going to go through. Like you can't sue for this because like
Well, what
you-
would she even be suing for? That you burned it
guess-
for like 20 minutes?
I guess so. I don't know how bad it could have been. Well, I guess the vagina is really sensitive, so that's got to be awful.
Oh,
Especially
yeah,
if
it's
it's
Very
way more
good,
than 20
John.
minutes.
Tell us more about the sensitivity of a vagina.
Yeah, I
I
don't
would-
have one. I wouldn't know.
This is my expertise. I said that convincingly, right?
Yeah.
But like, does that kill the sperm? Does hot sauce kill the sperm?
I feel like it dies anyway after like 20 minutes. If it's like, I don't
Isn't it
know.
Isn't it like when
I
it
was
hit?
heard that the moment it touches air, it's dead.
yeah,
yeah,
but
I've
if it's
heard
in a
that too.
condom.
Oh, true. And I would just flush it down the toilet. Like fuck the
Yeah, I'm
plumber.
surprised
Like
seeing it.
Drake has enough money to pay a plumber a lot of money.
No, or just pay somebody to come take it and then dispose of it to an incinerator.
Nah, I would flush it.
He has to pay somebody to incinerate condoms for him. Could you imagine
Dude, I
having
would
that
do it
job
for
title?
freaking $20 an hour. Fuck it.
$20 an hour just to hold
20
on to
bucks an hour,
condoms?
7 days a week. Hell yeah.
What would
That's
your
not bad.
slogan
Plus
be?
you get
I am the cum composter. Let me take
Dude,
your seed.
Hell yeah. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Let me take your seed. Could you imagine explaining that to somebody? You meet a nice girl out at one of Drake's parties because there's a billion of them following him around, and they're just like, "What do?" He's like, "Oh, I handle Drake's condoms for him." Like, "Oh, you give him condoms?" No, I take them away after they're all done.
And just for like consistency, I fill them with hot sauce as well.
I've read somewhere that hot sauce kills it. Maybe like rubbing alcohol would do it too.
That is kind of smart though. You keep a packet of hot sauce on you all the time because I imagine you're probably keeping like the condoms. You're not keeping the condom in your wallet or whatever, right? Because that's not safe.
No, he has a
So,
guy for it.
I mean, oh fuck.
Yeah, he's got a guy.
Threw
He's
myself
got
under the boat.
He's got a guy that hands him a condom and a packet of hot sauce for after.
Here's the
It's the
foreplay and afterplay.
That's why he threw it in the trash can so that way the composter can come grab it and take it away.
Condom. He should have put it under his pillow, and then when he woke up, the condom fairy would take it away.
He can't risk it getting into the toilet and like getting out to the ocean and making like a bunch of like mutated Drake babies.
Wait, so if he put it under his pillow, what would show up in the morning? Money, or would like a Doritos Locos taco?
Probably money. That man is very rich.
So I'm trying to think of somehow that she could still get impregnated even if he put it underneath his pillow. I'm thinking like, what if she was sleeping and like she accidentally like swallowed it and like coughed, and then like as it coughed, it like spiraled into her own vagina, and then maybe I don't know.
That makes sense. That's
She
how
would have to be the greatest like
As she was sleeping, she just like and then she like put her hand. I don't know.
she does the scoop method. She goes in there right down with it. Nah, but yeah, that's I don't know if that story is true. I mean, it could be definitely like a made up story, but
probably.
I thought it was fun regardless because like Drake's my favorite artist, and I like the idea that he was asking for consent though. You know what I mean? Like
You're giving him like no credit.
I'm giving
Damn.
male
You're giving
celebrities
him
no-
too much credit for something like so stupid.
No, like he did what was the bare minimum. Like I agree with
yeah,
that. But I'm
I
just saying,
guess.
No, he did the most. He poured hot sauce in it
Hot
instead of
sauce.
like
He-
just keeping hold of the condom or something.
Mm.
Like that would be the easiest thing. If you're really worried about it, you hold them.
Okay, so another story that you guys don't really care about, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Oh
Like,
wait,
I
no.
care.
We have another. So in women that are doing crazy things in the bedroom. Oh, this isn't a bedroom. Probably her bedroom. So there is a model, and she is selling her farts for $1,000 each. She's farting into a mason jar, and she made $100,000. It's a 90-day fiance star, I guess.
Okay.
So she had to go to the hospital. Like Steve, you were telling me about that, right?
Yeah, no, I think I don't know if she's still in the hospital, but I do know she was either too exhausted or something happened. Let me pull that up.
She had like a really poor diet, so because she was like trying to fart all the time to fill up these mason
It's a
jars.
lot of beans.
And so I guess she had to go to the hospital because her diet got so bad. But like, that's kind of gross. Like, how do you make $100,000? Who pays $1,000 for a mason jar like that?
Men.
You remember when Belle Delphine was doing that thing with the bath?
Yeah, it's
bottle or
bath
the-
water. Right?
Yeah, but you can
Right?
at least drink water.
Yeah, make a
Oh,
lot of money.
I think we hear one of Belle Delphine's customers over here is like, excuse me, sir, it's not that bad.
That's a collectible, sir.
I don't even
Yeah,
think that was $1,000 though, right? Like, wasn't that
No,
less?
they were
expensive?
300 each, but then when I sold it on eBay, I mean, when somebody else sold it on eBay, I was
When
able
Steve
to
bought
get,
it from
they
me
were
for-
able to get 1,500.
Honestly, if Steve bought a bunch of like Belle Delphine's bathwater and then resold it, I think he'd just be a genius. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a smart business move right there. That's a high IQ idea. But yeah, that's I don't
Now,
know.
I have
I'm
a
not going to
series
shame
of
anybody,
questions.
whatever you're into. But like, that's a lot of money.
What so how'd she do it? Did she bare ass it onto a mason jar?
I imagine so.
Also, like, you know when celebrities sign like balls, like sports balls?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had Hugh
Don't they
Jackman
usually have,
sign
like,
my
somebody-
testicles.
Somebody like proving that they're doing that? Like, doesn't there have to be evidence that they did, that they were the one that signed that
no,
specific ball or something?
what you can
Like a
do is-
certificate of authenticity?
Yeah.
No, because like the way you signed it is very specific. So there's somebody who understands what the they like read signatures and stuff
Oh,
like
like a
that.
signature reader.
Yeah, so they'll
Analyzer.
like give a certificate of authenticity and be like, yeah, he signed this. Like this is
So-
really him.
Do you think someone had to be there to authenticate that she was the one farting inside the jar? Like they had to watch her fart in each jar?
I mean, there has
that would
they
be
have
my
to
job.
prove it. Because if somebody's on the fence of like, hey, I have enough money, but also
Like I'm about to
I
drop
want this-
$400 on this. I need to know if it's actual
Yeah.
like flatulence.
I'll be honest with you, like I feel like she's kind of stupid because I feel like you could just put like a moldy egg or something in there for a little bit,
They
take
got
it.
different smells.
You got to do so. Like you can figure something out though. Like where you don't got to be doing farts. You could just be like, oh, here's my farts. Like
I mean, maybe
Would
she
that
just
even
farts
keep-
a lot.
I mean,
Would
if
that
all
even-
I had to do was fart, like I would gladly do it for 400 a jar or something, whatever they're going for.
oh, I would do it too. Like this is like there's so much money to be mad with just like stuff that
Yeah.
people enjoy. And like I'm not shaming anyone. I just feel like that's a lot of money. Would that stay in the mason jar?
I can
though?
shame people that like sniffing farts.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
Fucking weird.
What if she got like a little bit of chocolate squirties in there too? Like,
What if she gave you
Is
some
that-
corn? Like,
does it-
come on.
does that cost more? Like,
Could you imagine going
It's
over
like,
someone?
it's like a limited batch. It's a limited edition batch. Like, you know how, like, I'm trying to think, like, sometimes if there's like a misprint on something, it usually ends up at like TJ Maxx or Marshalls, but sometimes it'll be like a super limited edition. Like, when I used to buy Amiibos, do you know what those are? They're like these little Nintendo figurines that you use for Smash Bros.
are those the little Nintendo figurines they use for Smash Bros?
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, cool.
Oh
I know.
yeah, I've heard about those.
I bought a Star Fox one, and his arm was missing, and I sold it on eBay, and I got like way more than I thought I would for it. And I was
Nice.
thinking if you could sell one of those fart jars that had a little bit of extra in it, like you could make a lot.
well,
There's like little hair in there. I don't know.
this woman made $1,000 or $100,000. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot
that's
of farts.
Could you
gas.
imagine going over somebody's house and there's just a mason jar just sitting there, and it's like, what's in this mason
Don't
jar?
touch it.
You're
It's my grandma. Like that's what I would say.
like, that's what you would say. Oh,
I would hide it in an urn so it wouldn't look so suspicious. So no one would even want to touch it because they'd be like, "Oh, out of respect for Steven's loved one who I don't know."
do you open the mason jar, get the one-time use, or do
That's
you
what
hold
I'm
on to
saying.
it for
Like,
a rainy day?
are people doing that?
Can you? Is it like
I don't
a
know.
one-time use thing, or can you redo it like multiple times?
Is there a way to? If you
It
freeze
doesn't-
it, will it stay in the jar better?
Does it stay in a jar? Like I don't understand. Like, do
Imagine if
farts-
like when you opened it, it made a farting noise.
All right, we're gonna have to run an experiment to see if this actually works. Steve, I volunteer
Did
you.
anyone just see me get hit in the head by my ring light?
I saw
No,
something
but the
going
audience
on,
did.
but it's blurred out, so you kind of got
Perfect.
saved.
All right.
So
I
yeah,
got hit
Steve,
in
you're
the
gonna
head.
have to fart in a jar.
I'll do it. Also, random side thought. I've been looking at this bottle of Pepsi for the past like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I noticed the nutritional facts are right where this thing is, and I don't think I've ever seen that before in a Pepsi. Like,
yeah,
oh, yeah,
usually
'cause
it's
this-
random.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
you-
random.
oh, I always thought it was usually in front of the logo.
I'm drinking the
What?
Sam Adams Game Day pack, which is like a variety pack. So I got like Alpine Lager, which I just finished, and I'm gonna be drinking this next one right here, which is Golden Goat. I think it might be named after Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers.
See, I got
It
a
could be named after either one of them.
I got a drink here. It's a mixed drink. It's a weird sciencey drink. It's a
Big Bang Theory drink.
hydrogen dioxide. Dihydrogen oxide?
Whatever
Yeah.
you got.
We're going to go with
What do
that.
you-
Where'd you get it
Dihydrogen
from?
oxide. No.
So I'm the only one drinking a beer on this podcast again.
Nope. Mine will be beer eventually.
Oh, okay.
I just got to mix it with like mason jar farts and it'll probably ferment.
Mason jar. He's
What
like,
if that
he's
was
like-
our first like big merch drop was just like jarred farts.
All right.
I
Email
don't
in
think-
if you want to buy a jar fart.
yeah. If you want a mason jar fart, let us know. We'll gladly send it to you for $1,000. That is the going rate on.
I will
We'll cut you-
personally watch Steve take a shit in a jar.
Yeah, Justin will authenticate it and we'll live stream it.
hmm
So, talking about this golden goat, right? It's probably named after Tom Brady because it's Sam Adams. However, Tom Brady is in a little bit of a discussion this time around about whether or not him or Aaron Rodgers is going to be the MVP. So, I want to give you guys some stats because it's the end of the NFL season. I know you guys don't care, but I love this stuff. So, I want to hear what you guys think.
May I also
So-
ask something? How old is
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers?
38,
And Brady's what?
42.
Wait, Justin, you cut out for like a half a second. You said how old is
Both of
and
them.
then
He asked. I think
So-
they're like
38 and 42. It is pretty
think-
remarkable that both of them are in contention for the
Oh no, I
MVP.
totally agree.
Like how
I totally
cool is
agree.
that?
No, that's you bring up a great point. Like I think a lot of that has to do with like the rules on hitting quarterbacks and
Mhm.
stuff like that. It's a little bit safer. But yeah, like Tom Brady has really set the mold on how to like. I was the biggest Tom Brady hater for the longest time. I didn't want to
You
give him
still
the
are.
greatest of all. No, I give it to him now. Like he has 7 Super Bowl
that's
rings.
dirty.
He's the greatest of all time. I don't think that's a question. You know, for me, because Aaron Rodgers is my favorite quarterback, I'd love to just based on talent and stuff. Like I'd love to give it to him and be like, oh, I pick Aaron Rodgers over Brady if I was to start a franchise. But that's I don't really hate anyone for saying like Tom Brady.
Answer
you know
me
what I mean?
this, John.
What's that?
Who's better, Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre?
Aaron.
Yeah, I
Rodgers.
was about to ask you that. Like,
Oh, it's not even a question. Like Aaron
so
Rodgers
total
hasn't even-
career, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown 100 interceptions in his career yet.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's insane. So I'll read you guys some stats. We have a 68.9 completion percentage,
They
4,000
could have did better than that.
4,115 yards, 37 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 111.9 QBR versus a 67.5 completion percentage, 5,316 yards, 43 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing, 12 interceptions, and a 102.1 QBR. So, based on those stats, do you guys need me to read off anything again, or
Oh no, we got all that.
you got
Yeah.
all that? Which one do you think deserves the MVP out of those two statistics?
probably Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Do you know-
I'm gonna say Aaron Rodgers in this one.
Just for the simple fact that he has thrown, I think this is
Yeah.
8
Yeah, he
Eight
threw
less
more
inter-
of them.
8 less interceptions, and only Brady only has technically 4 more touchdowns to his like.
Like
I don't
career stats or year
No,
stats?
No,
this is this season.
Brady's doing that good.
Brady has thrown a lot of. Brady's doing really well, and I was like trying to look up at more advanced analytics because, for me, I was gonna get. If you would have asked me this question a few weeks ago, I would have said the running back for the Indianapolis Colts, Jonathan Taylor. I think he's having a fantastic year. I don't like that it's always a quarterback stat. I don't think any of them are really blowing it out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have said Jonathan Taylor. However, the Colts didn't make the playoffs. We'll get into that in a little bit. So you kind of have to
Nerds.
go between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers right now. Maybe you can say Cooper Kupp, but
Wait,
that's
why?
another-
Why can't you pick someone who's not in the playoffs? Just because you're the most valuable player. I feel in basketball, it's usually a team that makes it to the playoffs. That's
Mm.
why Jokic isn't getting shit this year.
Usually with the NFL, it's usually the best player on the best team.
That's
and a
see,
lot
but
of-
that's so dumb.
Wait, so can you get the MVP if your team didn't even win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's a regular season award. Aaron Rodgers won it last year. He lost in the NFC divisional. They decide next week. They'll be voting next week. So
Oh, it's gonna be. Is it based off like player morale too? Like, is it?
There's a variety of factors, like human element comes into it. Like
I feel like Aaron Rodgers got a big F this year, but I mean,
that's a really good point, Steve. You talked about that because actually
I
a few
mean, I
weeks
don't
ago,
really follow football, but I just know all of the COVID stuff. Like people,
Yeah,
a lot
which-
of no-nos.
which upset me a lot too, personally.
Mm.
But there was this guy, there's an MVP voter who came out and said, "No way am I ever going to vote for Aaron Rodgers because of the off-season drama." But I thought that was a little silly because it wasn't Aaron Rodgers that did that. Like,
Wait,
if you
what
wanted to
off-season
blame,
drama?
so over the offseason, basically one of the reporters said that Aaron Rodgers was done with the Green Bay Packers. He was never coming back, and tensions were high. He's asking for a trade. There was some truth to that. He was upset with the Packers organization, but he wasn't really doing anything, and he just stayed quiet the whole time. He didn't tell anyone anything. And basically, the whole offseason, reporters were having a field day speculating at where he's going, what he's going to do, because without football, there's nothing really to talk about besides baseball.
Yeah.
Who cares about baseball?
True.
So basically, the offseason drama wasn't his fault. Like, it was kind of like he could have came out, but he was just kind of handling it privately with his business. And then he came back and played and was like,
But
I
also,
was upset with.
like, who?
That was in
like, if
everybody
he
else's
wants-
head. He didn't even fuel that fire.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Plus,
Yeah,
if
what
you want to
Steve-
leave a team, that's fine. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get the whole like. I understand giving a team a chance, and if they give you their best chance, you should stay. But there's a lot of you hear a lot about it in like basketball and stuff, especially mostly basketball. Like people aren't loyal to their teams anymore.
Mhm.
But what's funny is you hear that a lot nowadays because you hear like LeBron going to different teams and people going all over the place.
Yeah.
But then you see somebody who people will complain about like Cat or he's on the not the Grizzlies or whatever. I don't know sports that much, but like Damian Lillard, they're like, yeah, he's got to leave. It's like, but what about loyalty? He's clearly staying there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
reporters when you stay, they're like, oh, you got to get out of there because you'll never win there. But when you leave, they'll criticize you for it. You know what I mean? LeBron with the
Yeah.
decision, like I think there's ways you can go about it and be better, but like the sports media is never happy. To like basically one of the Hall of Famers came out. He said that he got into a lot of hot water because everyone's like, it's an on-season award. You're supposed to do it based on production, and Aaron Rodgers is clearly produced this year.
Mhm.
Now, I don't really mind if someone wants.
He
to
produced
say
a lot of
someone else.
antibodies when he got the
Exactly.
the COVID.
You got it.
Oh,
You
and also
got
it's
it.
Carl Anthony Towns. That's where I got the cat from.
Yeah, for Golden State, right? Or where is he now?
No.
I don't Look it up. But
Minnesota Timberwolves.
yeah, I mean, that reporter got into a lot of hot water. There was another reporter that came out this week and basically said that Aaron Rodgers was going to boycott the Super Bowl if he wins, and it was not true at all. Like, they made it up.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
apparently
that
it was
just sounds like a fake article.
Yeah.
what do you
it
mean if
sounds-
he went? Like if he got into the Super Bowl, he's gonna be like, yeah.
But you're not gonna play. Just kidding, guys.
Yeah, so
No.
basically this guy Boomer Esiason, who
Okay,
is
Boomer.
he was a quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals for a long time, and now he's like a sports reporter or whatever. And he reported this article from a trusted source, and he said that Aaron Rodgers, if they make it to the Super Bowl, is gonna boycott the NFL because of their stances on COVID restrictions and stuff like that. And Aaron Rodgers like tweeted it, and I guess he told Jordan Love to be ready, the backup quarterback, and they just ripped him apart on Twitter. Like Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, and like all the other players kind of joined in on it. It was kind of funny, and it was kind of like, yeah, like you're just rolling with bullshit right now. So
Is this
kind of,
sportscaster like not ever really credible? Is he just like known for being
apparently
a dumbass?
he was saying it was a joke, so it's not really his fault. It was like
Oh.
another organization cut the clip.
Oh,
and sent it
his secret source was joking with him, and he didn't
Yeah,
understand
he
it.
was like it was
Basically
a joke
what
or
I'm
whatever.
His secret
hearing.
source, aka like a dream that he had, where he's like, "Oh shit, I could get a lot of clicks with this one."
Yeah, basically.
Basically,
But,
what
I
I'm
mean-
hearing is there shouldn't be any off-season talks with any sports.
It's I mean
Yeah,
like you
You get
have
you
to-
get a month before and a month after. Besides that, don't talk about the sport.
that's fair. I mean like it is what it is, but
It's kind
I
of
mean
like if you were like, I don't know, if you were to hype up like a Marvel movie or a video game or something before it came out, and you're like, "Oh, well, the director posted this on Instagram, so this means that so and so is going to be in the sequel." Then the sequel comes out, and nothing happened, and everybody got upset. Like, imagine with No Way Home. I think say the big thing about No Way Home, which I'm not going to say publicly.
Mhm.
What if that thing didn't happen in the movie?
Well, look
What
at
That would have
Look-
been awesome.
yeah, that would be
Like,
funny.
I would love if that didn't happen. Like,
Yeah,
Look at
I agree.
Star Wars.
yeah, how everybody got pissed at the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I thought
Like-
they were pretty good. Like,
I liked them. I mean, I didn't really like the Last Jedi when it came out, but in retrospect, like it was
it was
okay.
fine.
It's funny you guys are talking about it since I've been doing more nerd stuff over TikTok.
Over
a
at
big thing
TikTok
that-
at East Coast Avengers
at East Coast Avengers, yeah.
on
I've been
TikTok.
posting a lot of stuff because I love Rey. Rey is a top 5 Star Wars character for me, and I understand why people don't like
Hey.
her. I understand those.
John, everybody loves Raymond.
Okay, fair. But I love Rey, and I think she's really cool. But like we were talking, like I've been trying to defend her in those movies, and like a big thing I've been pushing on is a lot of people are saying Disney ruined Star Wars. But I'm like, Disney didn't ruin Star Wars. Like they had an idea for their last film that when it came out, like when the original script came out, and the fans were like, "Oh, that would have been really cool to see." It's like, yeah, but you bitched and complained because you didn't like The Last Jedi, and I watched The Last Jedi last night, and I was like, this is actually pretty good. This has some really good scenes in it. You know what I mean? Like it's not great, but
Fight
it's still
scenes are
pretty...
still weak.
What's up?
The fight scenes are still weak.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the fight scenes are pretty weak. I agree with that. But
I still will say the best action in any Star Wars movie is Rogue One.
okay. I mean,
I
I
haven't
go...
seen Rogue One since it came out. I'm willing to watch it again, but
I
like,
think it's great.
Wasn't in love with it when it came out, but I was also like, I was like going through my first breakup at the time, and I was like, oh, this movie sucks. Like,
It's
I
it's my
think,
favorite Star Wars movie, I think.
really Rogue
Wow.
One.
Yeah.
better than
Empire Strikes Back.
I was about
Yeah,
to
and
say
any of them.
Phantom Menace.
Like I
Revenge of
wasn't
the
that
Sith.
into the Skywalker storylines. Like it's like I mean it's also retrospect because it started a lot of the like chosen ones. Not didn't start, but you know what I mean? Like it was an OG.
Yeah.
So it was
Mm.
like okay, it's kind of ran over now. But Rogue
should
One
talk-
was freaking Normandy, the Normandy
We-
scene. Whew.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we should probably delve.
We have
move
done
more
it.
into this
Sure,
kind
you
of
guys
stuff.
have talked about this on the podcast before I ever showed up. But did you guys ever think about like how you would show Star Wars to like your kids or like kids that weren't yours?
Like
I
in what order?
Hey kids, you want to see some Star
Children
Wars?
at the neighborhood park.
Come look at my van DVD player.
Look at my Blu-ray collection. Come on, kiddos.
Are you saying what order would you watch it in, Steve?
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and
Mm-hmm.
then the sequels.
Order they came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just show 4, 5, 6, and if they really were into it, then I would show them 3. I feel like you could just go without seeing 1 or 2.
I'd give them 1 or 2 and let them decide for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't really mind people who don't like those films. I enjoy them.
Yeah.
I
I
like the
liked them as a
action.
kid, but as I watched them as I got older, I was like, oh yeah, this kind of sucks.
They're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I like Revenge of the Sith. But to bring it back, nerds, back to football.
Football.
The best thing. Okay, so to end the season off, we have a few crazy storylines at the end of the season.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah, that too.
Well, that's
That's-
happening this year.
Yeah.
That's what
Do
ends.
you want to
it.
make?
What?
Well, we
I didn't.
had,
I thought Aaron Rodgers was boycotting it.
Oh yeah, true. Only if he makes it.
trusted source.
If he doesn't
um,
make it, he's gonna go.
Well, somebody who boycotted their game, I use that correctly. Antonio Brown left like halfway through the third quarter of his game against the Jets because.
Hey,
so
if I was playing the
apparently
Jets, I would leave too.
Apparently, what happened was he had an injury going into the game. He had an ankle injury, and he was playing all the way through. And then all of a sudden, he told his coaches, "I'm done. I can't play anymore." And the head coach came over and said, "Get in there. We need you to play. Like, stop, whatever." And he just was like, "Fuck you guys. I'm done." He took off his pads and his jersey, threw it on the ground, took off his undershirt, threw it into the stands, and just ran out of the stadium and left. And they're playing the Jets, and they're losing at this point.
Oh
By the way.
man.
That's not something you're supposed to do.
Yeah, so he just took off. He had like an Uber driver pick him up.
Just
And,
like a random, not even like a.
yeah, Steve,
Hello-
do you know the
Hello,
do you know the
shirtless
drama
Antonio
with
Brown.
Antonio Brown?
I hear his name enough to know that he may or may not be problematic.
He's
That's about
been
it.
kicked off a few teams. He's got.
I remember he was on the Patriots for a while, and then they gave him the boot because some girl said, some things. And then he didn't play in the NFL for a while, and then I know that either last year or the year before, he came to the Buccaneers, and like people were kind of uneasy about it, but they're like, okay, he's Tom Brady's friend. Is that all accurate?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow,
you're,
this is
you're
from
on
someone
point
that doesn't
with
even
this.
watch football.
Steve,
Wow.
yeah. Sports maniac.
A lot of people think he has mental disorders from a really big hit he took in the NFL.
Probably had a few concussions.
Yeah, so they're saying he probably has CTE. He's acted very differently since he took this very big blow. So it's possible, and he probably needs help. But like, he kind of quit on his team. I don't really know what to make of this story.
Is he still signed to that team? Like, say if you were to go
No,
to
he's done. He's cut. He's done.
Oh, he's completely released.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
damn.
no one's offered him any kind of contract. He's done in the NFL.
So
Yeah.
You think he's done like totally?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think
And you
anyone's
think
gonna pick
it's
him up.
all because of that scene where he like threw his jersey off and shit?
Well, so to go through real quick, he forced his way off the Pittsburgh Steelers after signing one of the biggest contracts.
I think I
Yeah.
vaguely remember that.
Yeah, he threw a big fit. He said he was done with the Steelers. He didn't want to play there anymore. Signs with the Raiders, right? Gets traded to the Raiders. Like within a week of being with the Raiders, says he doesn't want to play there. He's done. He had like his helmet that he wanted to play with, but the NFL said it was too old to play with. It wasn't safe anymore.
Yeah.
So he like spray painted it his old Pittsburgh Steelers helmet to try and fit the Raiders colors or whatever. It was bad. Gets cut off there. Goes to the Patriots like you talked about. Tom Brady falls in love with him for some reason, and then he
'Cause
gets
he's a
cut
winner.
from there. Gets cut from there, and then plays last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, wins the Super Bowl, and then this year this all happened. So a lot of people are just like done with him.
Do you ever see him coming back to the NFL?
No, he's too old. He's getting up there in age. He's done.
I feel like he'll just get a reality show with some either like maybe Hulu or something, and then he'll be right off in the sunset.
Maybe. I mean,
Probably.
hopefully he has enough money saved up.
Like, do you
for his
remember
family.
who were those two players back? Like, I'm talking like 12 years ago. I think like Terrell Owens and this other guy.
Chad Ochocinco?
Yeah, didn't they have a show or something? Yeah.
I
But
think-
is he likable? Is the question. Antonio Brown, is there like
Nah,
appeal
I
to
don't-
him?
Some people like him because they feel sorry for him. They
Wasn't
feel
Terrell Owens like in Ocho Cinco? Weren't they like kind of bad towards the end? But they were like such likable characters that you're like, okay, I'll watch this shit.
They were
Well-
cocky, but they were kind of deserved it, right?
yeah.
T.O. was a little bit. A lot of people's. If T.O. played today, I don't think he'd have any issue. I think T.O. was very cocky and demanding and wanted the ball, but he played for his teams. Like he played on a broken leg in the Super Bowl, which is like huge. Like if he was healthy, he was playing. He was just kind of a problem to deal with in the locker room. Like
Yeah.
he didn't gel with everyone, and a lot of people didn't like that. I think today with the understanding and like coaches being more sympathetic to players' needs, he'd probably get along much better.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would have just understood, like, okay, T.O.'s T.O. Like we got to let him burn off his, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like whatever.
In AB's defense, if he was actually playing with an injury, then I think maybe we should give him the same respect. That
Yeah, like he apparently had text messages back and forth, and it is possible. The problem is like Antonio Brown's kind of like lied to them.
liar.
Yeah, I don't know if he has a complicated past, and it's tough to discern where Antonio Brown is telling the truth and where the NFL is right here. You know what I mean? Like, because the NFL itself,
Like, I don't trust the NFL either.
exactly, like
Yeah.
the NFL, like coaches and everything, like they'll slander a player to make their organization look bad, and then they're in the wrong. You know what I mean? So it's a tough situation to really kind of discern. But it was interesting nonetheless. It was a good storyline. And I got one more storyline for you guys, and then we'll wrap up. This is the last game of the season. So basically,
Can't
what
hold nothing
happened?
back now.
So I bet $5 on the idea that the Colts would lose to the worst team in football, and then the Raiders and the Chargers would tie. And why this is significant is basically if the Colts lose, they would have been kicked out of the playoffs, and both the Chargers and the Raiders, who are playing a Sunday night football game for the playoffs, would have made it to the playoffs regardless of the out. Like if they both tied, they're in. But if one of them wins and the other one lose, like
That means one of them's out.
one of them's out. So a lot of people were kind of hoping that maybe they'll take a kneel down or something like that. But
How
the
often do
crazy-
games even end in a tie?
It's probably once every year.
Yeah.
Probably the Pittsburgh Steelers had a tie this year. So it happens. It's not
In the
uncommon.
Super Bowl end in a tie, or there has to be a winner.
No, there has to be a winner. Like there's specific rules for the playoffs and the Super Bowl, but in the regular season you can end in a tie. So a lot of people, myself included, were hoping that if the Colts lost, which they did, they lost to the worst team in football. I don't know how it happened. It doesn't make any sense. And again, this is why I don't think Jonathan Taylor deserves MVP, because he didn't make the playoffs, so it kind of like it takes away from his shine a little bit, unfortunately. Basically what happened is the Colts lose, Chargers and Raiders are playing, and I'm watching this game. So basically, to give you a stat, the Justin Herbert, the Chargers quarterback, completed 6 for 6 on 106 yards and a touchdown on 4th downs. Basically, every single time they would like play, they would get into like a 4th down territory, and all of a sudden, it was like, oh, we're just going to make this play happen. And they scored a touchdown, and like they tied the game up going into the 4th quarter and sent it into overtime. And I'm watching this game. Now, I bet $5 on this outcome. If they tied, I'm winning $1,000.
Why didn't you just win?
I'm watching the game, and this is how this game ended, and this is what's so crazy about it, is the Raiders, the Raiders kick a field goal in overtime. The Chargers get the ball. They kick a field goal. And again, the game's tied with 4 minutes left to go in the game. The Raiders are driving down the field to get to like half field with like 30 seconds left on the clock. And the announcers are like, wow, it really looks like the Raiders are just trying to get a tie and get out of here. Like, they don't even look like they're trying to win anymore. And the Chargers call a timeout. And basically what happens is it's speculated. I don't know if this is necessarily true. The Chargers head coach believes they were in a run formation, but it's speculated that they were actually going to take a kneel down and take the tie and get out of there. But after the Chargers called the timeout, the Raiders ran another play, moved up like 10 yards to like the 35, and kicked like a over 40-yard field goal to win the game.
Oh,
and
shit.
Ruined my hopes and dreams of getting $1,000.
I bet a lot of people had that bet.
Yeah, like
was it one of those special ones?
Yeah, it was a prop bet. So you had to bet on the idea that the Colts would lose and then they would tie. But it was wild because like apparently I think a Raiders player might have said it to somebody, or it speculated he said it to a Chargers player that they were thinking about tying because both teams were exhausted.
Why would they call timeout? You fucking idiots.
I don't know what his thinking was. Like he was like, "Oh, they were in a run formation and we had our pass package out there. We had to get."
Was there any chance that they could have won at that point, or were they kind of just screwed?
No, there wasn't. It didn't make a lot of sense.
Was this so? Does winning the game put him in like a better playoff position, or?
I think it moved him. I don't think so. I'm
so
not,
there was
I'm not
no
sure.
advantage to winning this game.
Not really. And one of the announcers was making the point. He's like, you don't really want to do this. Like taking a tie with 30 seconds left isn't the worst thing, because if you take the tie, like let's say hypothetically you kick the field goal and you fumble the ball or something and the Charger takes it, like it's a 1% chance it would happen.
Yeah.
But it could happen and you screw yourself out and you'd be like, oh, why not just take the safer bet, take the kneel down and get out of here?
Would it be illegal for them to just not play?
That's what I wanted to see happen, was them to just kneel the ball every single time, like form an alliance.
Yeah.
And like get out of it. But the crazy thing is also, because the Raiders won, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have been playing awful this whole year, are now in the playoffs with Ben Roethlisberger's last year of the season.
Well, that's kind of cool.
That sounds a little conspiracy theory.
So
have both teams ever kneeled like at the same time, like in the middle of a game, or like at a very crucial part?
Not like that. Well, like teams kneel typically before halftime or something like that. If they're going into half with a lead or whatever, it's usually strategy, but nothing like the idea that they kneel the whole time. I wanted to see it so bad.
How
it wasn't
funny
happen.
would you watch the entire game?
I was watching the whole game. Yeah,
no, but if it was just kneeling, just
clip, I feel like that'd be like unreal.
Yeah, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like I was sitting there hoping, but like I'm sitting there and the game is 29-17 or 14 or whatever it was, and I watched the Chargers score, and I'm like, no way. There's no way this is coming down. Like they're down by 2 touchdowns, and then they get like a fumble recovery, or they force a punt, and I was just like, no fucking way. And I'm watching all these 4th downs, and Justin Herbert's working his magic. I'm like, get the hell out of here. like this game is really gonna, because I'm sitting there thinking like this game, there's no way this game's coming down to a tie, but it was crazy. It was a
So the
wild
Chargers
game.
were down, or they were up most of the game?
They were down most of the game. They came back.
So don't
and
call it a
clawed.
comeback. Nice.
They clawed their way back into it, but like their coach made a really bad decision, in my opinion. It really did look like it.
I'm sure
like,
it was a bad decision in your opinion.
I was sitting there watching, and I'm just like, no fucking way. Like they're at the 50.
Imagine people putting like $50 down on that and shit. Like,
Oh my goodness. Did you hear about what happened with Draymond Green?
no.
So there was a bet, and basically all these people. There was a report that came out like a few minutes just before the game, and it was like Draymond Green was gonna like start the game, but then leave and not play any single minutes. So every single person put like $5,000 or $50,000 on all these under bets for Draymond Green,
Yeah.
and he went into the game, fouled like the starter player, and then walked off the court, and he was done.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "What just happened?" Like, I don't know what happened there, but it's crazy with gambling and stuff.
Yeah. It does make sports a little more exciting.
Yeah, I think so. It's a little bit fun. But I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the end of the NFL season, going into playoff time now. It's a good time for me. I know you guys don't care. I'm wearing a Green Bay Packers sweatshirt.
What do you mean? Steve watches every game.
Oh, true.
Did.
So, Steve, I know that you've been talking about Full House the whole time, and after the passing of Danny, Bob Saget, Danny, do you want to talk about the Full House to end this segment off and this show off?
Man, I don't even know what to say about it. I've been watching this show for years. A couple, like on the Christmas episode, I think it was, I was talking about how I was at a party and some kid was just going off and off about Full House trivia, and I'm like, shit, I want to be like him.
This is his moment.
This was a big loss. It's weird because I think a lot of people are divided on the death of Bob Saget. I mean, I wasn't
people
as
for it.
Some people are like, "Oh yeah, he's a scumbag." Like somebody
What did
posted,
he do?
He just made really raunchy jokes, and like now that we're in the era of accusing everybody of being a creep, people were saying like, "Oh, he said this thing in his book about how he made like messed up jokes," and people
Yeah.
are like,
He was
I
a
saw
very raunchy comedian in his stand-up career.
Yeah, didn't he had? I saw his jokes today. They were, yeah. I mean, they were fine. I understand why they're inappropriate. Don't get me wrong. Like they're
Yeah.
inappropriate, but like people insinuated that he was doing something with the Olsen twins, right?
"Yeah,
Which the Olsen twins kind of had to came out and dispute those things, right? Like it wasn't true. Like it was just kind of people
yeah." No,
speculating.
if anything ever happened, like he would have been completely blacklisted.
Yeah.
You would have never seen Full House reruns. He would have just been
Oh,
like
yeah.
kind of erased from history. Like they wouldn't post like box sets of the show. It would, I don't know.
I
Yeah,
think
'cause
the real reason that people are like so against him because of that is just because of how wholesome the show is. So the huge
Yeah.
contrast.
Yeah, it's a huge swing. Like it's a huge change. Like you wouldn't expect it. So you're just like, oh, this is different. But it's
This is
not that
offensive.
bad in comparison. You know what I
And
mean?
I think that's why his like comedy and like his stand-up persona was so like raunchy and explicit, was because like I think he wanted to distance himself so much from that show.
Mhm.
It's like if you're known for doing one thing your entire life, which I mean, what he did was an amazing body of work, and it's going to be watched for years and years to come.
Mhm.
But like, I guess it would piss me off if like everywhere I went, people were like, "Oh my God, you're Danny Tanner! Like you're this nice, loving guy." And like those are great things to hear, but I'm sure if I heard them every day, I'd like turn into the opposite at some point.
Yeah.
So we all watched an episode coming into this episode, or into our own episode. Which episode of Full House did you guys watch?
I watched the episode Nerd for a Day in season 3, and basically I thought it was going to be more of a Danny heavy episode, but it was Stephanie she's teasing some kid at school, calls him Duckface
Mm-hmm.
because he does
Looks
like
a duck.
like he does kissy face all the time. And so that's that storyline with Uncle Jesse. And then Danny needs a co-host for his show, which I forgot he was a freaking TV show host in the show.
Yeah, him and Lori
for-
Loughlin.
Yeah.
I
So
forgot.
him,
Yeah.
him and Joey were the two for that. And I forgot how funny the Olsen twins were. Like,
Yeah, they're hilarious.
like
They made the show.
they were both babies basically, and just killing their line reads. It was just
Yeah.
so good, and it was very wholesome. And I'm surprised the show isn't more popular nowadays because of how like loving and caring the male figures are in it.
Oh, I got a hot take here. Then.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Let's hear it.
Okay. Well, I watched season 3, episode 24, 20.
Our
24.
first telethon, yeah.
Our first telethon. And I found the show to be like very much of its time. Like it's wholesome, but I'm like, okay, I have a hot take. I have a few hot takes here. I think sitcoms are very important for everyone because they're very stale. Like they're pretty decent comedy. Like they're just fun, wholesome shows with deeper values every once in a while. And I think every single sitcom is really important for its time. Like Parks and Rec, The Office, How I Met Your Mother, Full House, Family Matters, like whatever you want to. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like every show has its thing. But I think sometimes if you grow up watching that show, that means a little bit more to the people than when they watch it. Like I don't really remember watching Full House all that often. So when I rewatched it, I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, I've seen this before, but it's like I've seen the telephone episode before in other comedies. Like I think a lot of sitcoms emulate that, and I think this is an emulation of something else, right? Like I don't think this is the first time this has happened. So I was just kind of like, yeah, like this is good. Like if people want to say Full House is their favorite sitcom, I get it, but like it's not mine, and I don't.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's groundbreaking or anything, but it is cool to see that there's 3 men who are taking care of 3 young girls. And they don't shy away from like showing emotions or being like caring in it. I feel like that's something back in the day you wouldn't really think was a thing necessarily.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, I don't think I'd go back and ever rewatch Full House. Like, I don't think it's surprising people haven't gone back and watched it. You know what I mean? Like, it hasn't made a renaissance.
Yeah.
Like, I think
I'm just bothered it's not on like a big streaming platform.
It's on
No,
HBO
no.
Max and Prime.
They have all the episodes on HBO Max?
I think so. They had a lot.
Oh, I did not know that. Well, now I
Steve,
do.
Steve, you're the big Full House fan. How do you feel about what I just said, though? Like, does that bother you, or do you get it? You're just kind of like,
No,
yeah.
I get it. Let's see where you're coming from.
Like, it's very much it. What episode did you watch?
I watched A Very Tanner Christmas. I believe that was season 6.
Of course, you watched the Christmas
I
episode.
love the Christmas like all of the holiday episodes for shows are timeless to me. Like you could watch like I
Actually,
don't know.
Steve, those are the ones that should only be a certain time.
Oh well, yeah, but you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
in that episode, DJ and her boyfriend Steve have a little bit of a fight because Steve got accepted into a college, but it's like all the way across the country, and she doesn't want him to go. So in order to get him to stay, she finds like this really expensive jacket that they saw when they were Christmas shopping at the mall, and she buys it for him along with a bunch of other things. And this is all to try to like get him to stay.
Kind of manipulative.
Yeah, very. And at the end of the episode, they make together. I'm trying to
Make
think. I
out.
don't want to say they make out, but I think they actually do at some point. They make up. That's the word.
Yeah,
And he
good.
decides
You
that
did
he's
it,
going to
Steve.
go to a community college instead, and then stay closer and get his grades up. And
Wait, he didn't have
Danny.
good grades and he was going to go out of state to go to college?
yep,
What an
Yep.
idiot.
Yeah, but it's
Yep.
back in the 80s when like college was cheap, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Makes
remember
sense.
it's that time.
I worked my way through college with a summer job.
and
Yeah,
Danny.
basically.
Danny was upset because his girlfriend, who's also a newscaster,
Mhm.
was in another country covering the elections, and he didn't think that she was going to be there for Christmas. And then, as they're doing their Christmas Eve party, there's 3 Santas, and Joey is one of them, and I believe Danny is another one. I did not watch the first half of the episodes. I just watched part 2 because it was available on YouTube, and I was in a rush.
Ah.
But so the third Santa was his girlfriend, and they make out at the end. And
cute.
Nice.
I love some good Santa on
Stephanie-
Santa action.
yeah, Stephanie and Mary Kate and Ashley need to learn the meaning of Christmas. So Uncle Joey Uncle Jesse takes them to like a Salvation Army, and they learn that giving is better than receiving.
I do think like Justin's point about like 3 male role models raising daughters, like that would be a really cool thing to see nowadays. Is like the idea that like maybe a group of people come together to be parents. You know what I mean? Like I've
Yeah.
had a sitcom idea where two people have a baby and they're living at their parents' house still because they get pregnant real young by accident, and
Yeah.
they live like in their parents' basement or whatever, and then like their friends help out. Like they'll go to school.
Oh,
You like this idea so far?
Oh, so
Like,
you're
they'll go
saying
to-
like high school age?
Like I'm saying,
Teen
no,
Mom. That's
like,
already
I'm-
a show.
like I'm saying, like so my premise of the idea was the male is like a bartender or whatever, and the woman is like a nurse student or like she's going through nurse school.
Okay, so she's a student. Okay, because I was gonna say if she was a
Yeah.
nurse, she might be able to.
She's
get her
like
own
a
place.
student. They're living at their parents' house in like the basement. They have a like a young child going into elementary school. They have to go to parent-teacher conferences, and they're the youngest people there because like they're younger than everyone else. But
Yeah.
then also their friends help out, and like it's not necessarily that it's a group of people. So I had like the idea of like maybe naming it like Raised by a Village, or It Takes a Village, or something like.
I was
'Cause, like,
thinking that
That's
as you were
such a
describing.
corny name that would work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like they would all come together, and like you could have each one imparting wisdom on each one, like going to parent-teacher conferences or picking them up from school, and like I thought it would be kind of have that kind of.
Wow, John, you just like that's. I like that. Holy shit.
Thanks, man. But yeah, like to Justin's point, I think you're right. Like the idea of, because what happened to Danny's wife? Do you guys remember?
She
They
passed
ever
away.
addressed-
In a car accident.
She got into a car accident. Is that
Yeah,
what
she
it
got
was?
hit by a drunk driver before the first episode, and like I think on the first episode, I got to rewatch it again. But like, there's a picture of her, and her brother is Jesse. That's how him and Jesse.
Oh,
have the
that's how the
relationship
Jesse-
they have.
Yeah.
And I think Jesse's like, "Oh, I miss her," and Danny's like, "Yeah, I do too." And I think they show a picture of her for like a split second, and yeah, she
It's
dies
really-
before the first episode.
It's really funny because no, not about that. I'm pivoting. Not the wife dying. But with Jesse, people mostly remember him as being like the rock star kind of bad boy-esque.
Yeah,
Like
Hmm.
but in both episodes that Steve and I watched, he was like
he's so soft.
he's so soft.
Yeah.
He's the voice of reason. So in the one that Stephanie is the one like bullying a guy, and he's the one that's like, you need to call him, you need to apologize. And then there's a thing where he thinks that she and him is dating.
Is he
Yeah.
the perfect guy though? Because like he looks
Yep.
like he has a bad boy attitude, but he actually is super soft and sensitive.
He's like
Like,
a
that's-
Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
ruined
the
it for the
perfect
rest of
dude.
us guys.
Yeah, that's the perfect guy right there. Let's
And
be
like
real.
he's good with kids.
Yeah, I can't
plays
really blame
guitar.
you. Like I yeah. So
So, John, when you were making your point before, I was looking at the Full House wiki, and as you were talking, I just kind of zoned out. So when you asked if I agreed with you or not, I was just like, "Yeah," but I honestly was not listening. I was reading this Full House
I
wiki.
love
was
I love that
deeply
Steve didn't
invested.
have to acknowledge it because I didn't notice, and he's just like, yeah. By the way, I didn't give a shit what you had to think
because
about.
I was thinking about what Justin said, and I'm like, wait, I might agree with that more, but I totally don't remember what John said.
Do you guys
I
think that
apologize.
Full House is responsible for the kind of modern-esque, like being proud of being like a girl dad?
No, I don't
Maybe
think so.
I don't know. I never really even thought about that in the show. Like it
'Cause
just
the people
so
who
happened
were-
they happen to have 3 daughters.
Yeah, like they were people who are watching that show are now
Well,
having
what-
kids, and they're like,
Where
hey,
were-
I'm a girl dad.
Oh, you're saying in real life?
Yeah,
Like-
real life.
I
Oh,
feel
like-
like you don't really have a choice in whether or not to be a girl dad or not.
No,
It just
but
kinda
there's some
happens.
people who are like, oh, I have a daughter, and then there's people like, I'm a girl dad. Like I embrace that
Oh,
shit.
like, yeah,
I'll go
yeah.
sit down and
I-
like do tea time.
I'll
I'll
let her do
do
my hair and I'll let her
Yeah.
paint my nails and shit. Yeah, dude.
Um,
If I had daughters, I would totally be that kind of dad. Just
I'll
like
be honest with you. I think sometimes like it's like women love that shit, and then like dads kind of enjoy the idea that they're like women like it. You know what I mean? Sometimes because like those videos.
I would just do it because I like spending time with my kids that I don't have.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
that too. So you know what? Yes, Justin. Yes, it is.
thank you. You're damn right. I'm right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that was Full House. I mean, R.I.P. to a legend. We didn't really touch on Betty White passing away, but unfortunately,
Yeah, I
RIP to
think Bob
another one.
Saget's more important than Betty White. Just kidding. I didn't say
Ooh.
that out loud.
No, I mean I think both are important, and like I'm glad we kind of had like this reminiscence of like the show. Like I don't know if I would ever like go back and tell people like you have to watch Full House. Would you guys do that? Would you be like,
Yes.
If
Yeah,
it's
ooh,
on,
Steve.
if it's
Full House
on
weeks
Nick
ago.
at Night,
oh,
watch
Nick
it
at
on
Night?
Nick at Night for the nostalgia aspect.
No,
We
yeah,
get-
if you want the full
Full
if
House.
you want to be a purist and you want the fullest House experience, you got to watch that Nick
Yeah.
at Night.
This is what I get. This is what I
got
got for an order off the top of my head. 1, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. 2, George Lopez. Rest everything else.
What about 3?
Full House, sure, whatever.
Roseanne.
Oh no,
Ah, nah.
You didn't
I
like
don't care.
Roseanne?
I didn't.
Rose-
I loved Fresh Prince. That was the
Roseanne
one.
was really
That's one
impressive.
show I never got into. I've watched it. I've definitely probably watched. I'd say like a third of like a third of the episodes they've done.
Mhm.
But like, I don't know. I wasn't into it as much as I was like Full House.
Yeah,
I think Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is like one of those.
And George
sitcoms-
Lopez was really good too.
Oh,
George Lopez was
is so
really good.
Although I don't really remember much. Like I have to rewatch George Lopez because I feel like I don't remember anything from that show other than the grandma.
Grandma
Yeah.
was pretty good. Yeah. The whole show was great, but yeah.
It
Maybe
sucks
if
because
I watched Fresh Prince as an adult, maybe I'd appreciate it more.
see
That's
Fresh
fair.
Prince. I remember specific episodes. George Lopez, Full House. I just remember the vibe of watching it. Like I just had like I could throw on any episode, but if I'm picking Fresh Prince, I'm picking specific episodes.
Yeah.
Specifically when his dad shows up and then leaves.
No,
again.
the one where they
No.
have to go. They're like they need money, so they enter a dance contest.
Oh, that is a good
Yeah.
one. That is a good one.
Yeah,
You know
the-
what song I just added to my YouTube music playlist?
jump
I
on
would.
it.
I don't make a playlist. I just like songs and then I play the songs for my likes.
Yeah,
I don't know if you do the same thing.
yeah, I do it a little bit when I dabble into our today's sponsor, YouTube Music.
YouTube music.
The Men in Black theme songs like Here
Yo.
Comes- That's such a banger.
Yeah, Wild Wild West. The
What do you
movie
think
was
of- yeah.
horrible, but
But
yeah,
the
all I
song-
remember was the song. Like years later, like I think I might have watched the movie once, but the song stuck with me for all these years. It's so good.
they gotta make theme songs for movies again.
Yeah, and they have
still
to
good.
have the lead actor sing the song.
Fair.
Hold on, random question. I don't want to cut you off, John, but I feel like I have.
I was just gonna end the episode, but if you got one more question,
Did you think that all wrestlers sang their own theme songs
No.
at one point? Because like Shawn Michaels, I thought, well, he does sing his, but I thought like Triple H sang his. I knew John Cena sang his, so I figured like all of them were sung by whoever was walking to the ring.
Well, John, in honor of Bob Saget's passing, I want to ask you a question.
What's that?
Marijuana. Well, it's not a question. It's a quote. Marijuana is not a drug. I used to suck dick for coke.
Oh yeah, that is
You-
his joke.
You
That's
ever
on the
suck some
Chappelle show.
dick for marijuana? No, it's from Half Bake.
Oh, is that what it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just him randomly in the
I
like.
saw the clip and I thought it was the Chappelle show, but I did see that clip.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the craziest thing because that was right after Full House, so he still looked exactly like Danny
Yep.
Tanner. Like he didn't age or anything. It's like, what the fuck? Why is he saying that?
it's, like,
It's great.
Mr.
Wow.
Tanner, what are you doing?
Regardless, R.I.P. to a legend, and we're done with this episode, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
right. Bye, everyone. Thank
Good
you for
night.
listening to Hot Takes and Beer Breaks.